Looking ahead, it's something city leaders in Round Rock have done consistently through the years, and it's one of the reasons Round Rock regularly receives accolades for being such a livable community. When looking at the city's annual budget, the coming year is no different. We're focused on what's ahead. The 2014 budget proposal keeps a sharp eye on the future while dealing with today's realities. The spending and revenue plan provides funding to adequately provide core services to a growing population, while tailoring programs to better meet the needs and expectations of a larger community. Round Rock's population has ticked past 102,000, and we fully expect that number to climb. So the budget has very much a future focus.
Speaking of the future, I'm Mr. X, your virtual assistant, here to help you with your analysis of the proposed budget as we look ahead to 2014 and beyond.
The Round Rock City Council maintains a strategic emphasis on making the community safe and prosperous while managing the reality of growth on our infrastructure. That means investments in public safety and transportation, promoting economic development, and keeping tax and utility rates among the lowest in the region. So we'll focus on how the proposed budget moves the community forward in those key areas. The city has made dramatic progress on transportation improvements, large and small, over the past 2 years. From big projects like rebuilding Hester's Crossing to smaller fixes like adding a turn lane on Redbud, you've probably driven past many a construction crew making improvements all over town. Repaving existing roads has been a priority, and this map shows where we have completed resurfacing of major arterials, shown in green, and those scheduled for resurfacing, shown in red. This map shows neighborhood streets that have recently received an overlay, in green. Those streets scheduled for repaving are shown in red. Improving timing and synchronization of traffic signals on major corridors has also been a priority. We've completed timing improvements on Lewis Henna Boulevard, Gaddis School Road, and University Boulevard. The fiscal 2014 budget proposal includes money for more signal work, including timing improvements for RM 620, US 79, and Old Settlers Boulevard. Regarding new construction, we're targeting the completion of the Chisholm Trail widening, improving the intersection of Mays Street and Gaddis School Road, and adding capacity to Old Settlers Boulevard and RM 620. We've also got a long list of what we call bottleneck improvements, which are relatively small fixes that can have a big impact. We're also working on major improvements to downtown Round Rock, most notably the intersection of Mays and Main Streets.
The work is meant to improve traffic flow along Mays and make our historic downtown much more pedestrian-friendly, which brings us to our next point: economic growth.
Improving the local economy remains a priority, and reinvigorating downtown has been a specific target area. In recent years, there has been more than $60 million in roadway, streetscape, parking, and utility improvements, as well as the creation of 2 new park plazas. To leverage the infrastructure investment, the 2014 budget includes programs that will draw more tourists and economic activity to our beautiful, increasingly vibrant downtown. The city continues its partnership with the Round Rock Chamber of Commerce for economic development. Recruiting efforts succeeded in the relocation of manufacturers like ClearCorrect and new retailers like Bass Pro Shops, In-N-Out Burgers, and Gander Mountain.
Bringing in new retailers is a key component to the city's long-term effort to diversify our sales tax revenue, but more on that in a minute.
A highlight of our economic development efforts in the coming year will be the opening of the Round Rock Sports Center, an indoor facility designed to grow our already successful Sports Capital of Texas tourism program. Even though it's not yet complete, the Sports Center is already booked with basketball, volleyball, and wrestling events nearly every weekend from January through July. The facility will draw thousands of visitors a year to Round Rock.
Those athletes and their families come to town, stay in our hotels, compete at this gorgeous facility, spend their money with local retailers, and then go home. It's the purest form of economic development.
The budget proposal includes a new engine company for the fire department. The 6 additional firefighters working out of Station 4 on Gaddis School Road will help improve response times to nearby neighborhoods.
The budget also includes funding for advanced training that's a priority with our police and firefighters who often have to go out of town to specialized facilities.
Now for the numbers. The proposed property tax rate is slightly lower than last year's, in large part because property values have increased. We are proposing a tax rate of 41.9 cents per $100 of property value. Last year's tax rate was 42.0 cents per $100. When it comes to utility rates, for the 4th year in a row, our average residential customers will see no changes in rates. The tiered conservation rates we instituted 3 years ago that charge higher rates to water customers who are heavy users in the summer appear to be working as planned. We have seen dramatic declines in overall water use this summer, even though drought drags on.
While most residents understandably focus on property taxes, in Round Rock, sales tax represents half of our revenue. Property taxes make up about a quarter of the general fund revenue. Strong sales tax collections, thanks in large part to Dell's presence here, have enabled Round Rock to enjoy one of the lowest property tax rates in the state for years.
In years past, Dell made up nearly half of all sales revenue. To prevent becoming over-reliant on any single revenue source, the City Council in 2005 adopted a policy to gradually reduce reliance on Dell to 20% of overall sales taxes by 2017. In the current fiscal year, Dell is at 33%. The proposed budget steps that down to 30%, keeping us on track to meet our goal. The great news is that other local sales tax sources have increased, which helps offset the reliance on Dell. That's why you hear the city encourage you to shop the Rock and support retailers here. When you shop in Round Rock, your sales dollars stay here and help fund police, fire, parks, and library services here. Sales tax revenue also has direct impact on reducing property taxes, so shop the Rock.
I believe it's time for us to get to the bottom line, how this proposed budget will affect you.
Here's what the proposed city property tax payment would be on an average value home. And here's how that compares to last year's property tax impact. So how does Round Rock's property tax rate compare to our neighbors? Have a look. And here's how our monthly utility rates stack up. Combine the impact of city taxes and utility rates, and it's clear Round Rock provides amazing value to our residents. The proposed budget addresses today's issues while keeping the community on track for the future. We're looking to fund strategic programs for public safety, economic development, and transportation. Our tax and utility rates remain among the lowest in the region, and we continue to steadily reduce our reliance on Dell, keeping us on target to diversify the revenue required to pay for local government at service levels you've come to expect in Round Rock. The City Council will hold a public hearing on the tax rate on September 5th. The Council will vote on the budget and tax rate at its 2 meetings in September, on the 12th and 26th. There will be public hearings at those meetings where we welcome your input on the budget and tax rate.
If you would like to review the entire proposed budget, log on to roundrocktexas.gov/budget.